Hey there folks, this is Silvestry at ExploreUSA here in Seguin, Texas, here to do a little bit of technical training with you in regards to first setting up your TV and as far as pulling down the proper channels based on where you camp. Every time you go and camp and set up a new site, you're going to have to reprogram your television, and I want to walk you through that process. As a starting place, depending on if you're going to run cable provided by your park or campsite or your own satellite system, there's going to be an actual receiving plate somewhere in the coach. In this instance, it's in the master bedroom, and it's going to have a power button. That power button, no matter what type of antenna you have, is actually going to power up and help that antenna pull down a better signal, again, based on where you've parked this current trip. If you were feeding off of a cable source, then you're going to make sure that that button is not powered up, because it's going to distort the cable. You don't need to amplify that coming into the coach. So in today's example, we're going to turn this on. And when you first turn on a television, there's always going to be a couple of choices. So depending on how this television powers up, we're going to see its source. And in most instances, you're going to see things like HDMI, which is the most recent. Right now, if you can see that it says AV, which is audio visual, that's going to be your red, white, and yellow connection. And it says no signal. We're going to keep moving. And we're going to change the source. Forgive me, I powered it off. We're going to keep moving, and we're going to get till we get to the TV. And once we get to that TV, you're going to see if you have signal or not. Now, depending on the last time you ran a channel scan, which allows your antenna, based on geography, to pull down your source, depending on the last time you did a scan, the channels you receive now might not be coming in. First one is HDMI 1. Those are, again, the most recent. We've got HDMI probably 2. And we're going to HDMI 3 PC, again a newer television, allows you to run a computer through it. And now we have television. And you can see we've got a very clear channel source. And I was able to notice by the channel that if you look here, forgive me, I'm again looking in the wrong page, you're going to see this decimal point, and especially a decimal point that ends with a HD, that usually tells us we've got a really good signal. When you do a scan, as we're about to show in a second, what usually happens is that the antenna will only grab your best signals, and the TV will only lock in place the signals that provide the clearest signal without any distortion. So no matter what type of TV you're on, you're almost always going to look for the menu button. And in the menu button, we're going to get either to the TV settings or the settings, depending on the television. When I scroll down, you'll see I'm moving into settings. And now I'm looking for channels. So as I go across, I'm into the channel section. When I click on it, you see it says signal source. Again, you need to make sure that you're actually, when you're looking for over-the-air reception, you're on the antenna, because opposingly, if you were plugged into the park or your own satellite system, you would have to move this over so that the TV recognizes on television your cable satellite is your source. In this instance, we want to leave it as antenna. And we want to go one more down and press scan. Usually, the television will ask you, do you want to run scan? And it might tell you this could take up to 5 or 10 minutes. So depending on where you're at, this is going to roll through. It's going to find local channels, analog, and then the HD channels. And of course, with the television, the flat screens, and this new, you will really only want to have a good HD source, because if you couldn't pull some down, that's when you would look to play a DVD or something else via cable. Now this is going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to press pause, but once it comes back, I'm going to have allowed it to go through its complete scan, and then hopefully I'll turn on the video camera as you see the amount of channels that it has found. Because in one site you might find you get 20 stations, and another site you might find you get 40 stations. I, because of the success of this, recently cut cable in my home, and I had an antenna placed on my chimney, and I get about 90 channels. Now, some of them might not be things that I ordinarily want to watch, but for my local television, my basketball games, my news, I can get pretty much everything that I need. I'm going to press pause on the camera while this completes itself.